Seven Waves Community Radio is a registered charity which broadcasts on 92.1 FM. It was awarded a 5-year licence by Ofcom and is the only radio station that broadcasts live from the Wirral 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's Wirral only, therefore it's focused on Wirral communities, people and businesses. All its presenters are local, professional and unpaid volunteers. It works in partnership with local government and other public sector agencies to bring to the forefront the issues that affect the community of the Wirral. So why set up a station on the Wirral in the first place? And whose idea was it?
Well, originally the idea was way back in 2001. I started a radio production course at Lyceum Millennium Centre, and I was doing training for people who wanted to get into the radio industry. And at that particular course, John Martin came along to the Millennium Centre and asked me, was I the guy who was running the radio? And I said yes, I was, and he told me about his ideas for community radio. And we all went over to the community centre, and we spent the next sort of 12 weeks of that course getting in contact with the radio authorities, assessing how we could go about getting an RSL and things like that, which is a restricted service licence. At that point we had no money as such. We did apply to the radio authority for one of the access radio licences. As I said, we had no studio, we didn't have any backing or anything at that time, but we had a group of people who were very enthusiastic. So John and I sort of got a group together, and that's how it really started.
The original idea was to give the youths and the people on the estate here something to do, and that's how it originally developed. An idea, but it was 20 odd years ago, the idea. It was an idea set up by John Martin, who was the senior community worker, but basically there was no funding and no licences available in those days, but he just kept on biting at it, and eventually he got it. So people sat up and listened.
In March 2002, ESF funding and partnership bids gave backing for the radio project. By September of that year, funding had been finalised and the project was given the go-ahead. By January 2003, work began on building a radio studio in the Lyceum Community Centre.
By March of 2003, I was employed as the tutor on the radio course, and Pauline Murphy was appointed as the project coordinator at that point. And we applied for our very first RSL broadcast, which was going to be in the summer of that year. So we worked out from that how, a couple of months back when we would start the first training. So we started our very first training course in the May of 2003. So that was 2 years on from the original idea, and we went on the air for the first time in August of that year.
I've worked at Seven Waves since 2003. Originally got involved before the first RSL, first restricted service licence. Paul Smith invited me in to view the new studio and to get involved with the students, basically in production and also looking after the technical side, which is the transmitter, audio quality, online streaming and the website.